Okay, Chronic vs Firstkiller about to commence. As we start this one off, remember you can catch Diaz, AJ on CJ's channel, Wavy Cosmic on Fear's channel, and you can catch Firstkiller versus Chronic right here on my channel. Let's get into it. That game one is not true. Let me reset the series score. There we go. Somebody was asking what's the all-time record between Diaz and Firstkiller. It's 3-1 in favor of Diaz in series between Diaz and Firstkiller. As for Chronic and Firstkiller, I believe all-time Firstkiller has a pretty big advantage over Chronic, but more recently Chronic has been faring pretty well against Firstkiller. I think this is a relatively even match. You know, I usually have a prediction pretty immediately these days when it comes to 1v1, but I'll be honest, this time I don't. I don't have an immediate, like, nobody jumps out to me as the favorite in this match. All time, Firstkiller is 10-3 against Chronic, by the way. All time, he's 10-3. But if I look at the most recent matches they've played against each other, let me just very quickly check that for you guys. Last one was in Fear's Road to 100 tournament. Chronic beat him 3-1. Before that, they played in Salt Mine 3 main event. Chronic beat Firstkiller 3-2. So, that's, like I said, Firstkiller used to completely dominate this matchup. Every time they played, he would come out victorious. Just realized my face cam's on. I'll just leave it. Whatever. I feel like this deep into the match, when I realize that it's on, I'll just leave it. Yeah, I think Chronic might have even won their past 3 meetings. I'm trying to see when their third last meeting was. Oh no, okay. Firstkiller won the one before that. So, he's not on a streak, Chronic, but he is right now perhaps the favorite according to seeding. Well, that's a big miss. Firstkiller's going to come back for 1-1. Okay, now that we're at 1-1, I have to make a prediction. Who's going to win this, Firstkiller or Chronic? I'm going to say that Firstkiller wins it. Reason being, he lost to Evo last week. I think that will have made him angry, and I think that now he'll be really locked in because he doesn't want to lose in another quarterfinal. Chronic last event made it into the semi-final, lost to AJ. Beat AJ, lost to Diaz. So, Chronic already made it to a semi-final. Oh, nearly a brilliant save by Firstkiller, but Chronic's shot is simply too good. And it does qualify as a brilliant shot, to be fair. That's unbelievable. He was way under the ball when he flicked that. That perfect timing. Launched the ball over Firstkiller's head. Now, both these guys have signed up for Salt Mine Quals. You could do the same. You're probably too late if you're watching this on video to sign up. In fact, you're definitely too late if you're watching this on video to sign up for Qualifier 1 for Salt Mine, but you still have time to sign up for Qualifiers 2, 3, and 4. They're all open quals, and you can play against some of the best players in the world if you get lucky and draw them in the bracket. Or you could just see how far you can get playing against other players from Twitch chat and YouTube who decided to sign up. Almost 1,000 signups for Qual 1, so if you're watching live, be sure to sign up. I'm going to post a link in chat right now as Firstkiller drops a ceiling double on Chronic's head. There's the sign up link in chat now. Just going to really quickly check how many we've got. It was 925 last time I checked, so my start of the stream estimate of hitting 900 was way too low. We're at 928 now. So road to 1,000 is well underway. Can we hit it with your guys' help? Maybe is the answer to that question. Totally free to sign up. Anyone can sign up. And it does directly support the 1 scene and the Salt Mine tournament if you do. ATR as well. ATR 4 signups are available. Sign up for everything, everybody, right now. Don't stop signing up for all the events. It's Firstkiller with a good spree of pressure here, but Chronic has survived excellently. Almost evens out the position, but Firstkiller still has enough of a boost advantage to feel comfortable getting close to the play. If he was running a bit more dry on boost, I don't think he would have stayed as close to the play as he did there. Oh, fantastic reset. Right next to the ceiling. Firstkiller just disgusted with the finish. What on earth is this? Reset delays the shot. Actually half volleys it. Top corner. Bar down and in. Yeah, just kind of hard to stop that the way Firstkiller's playing right now. Yeah, earlier today, Firstkiller 3-0'd Retzels in round 1. Chronic has taken down... Actually, who did he play? blanked on who Chronic played. He beat Forky. He just beat Forky. 3-1. Yeah, Firstkiller's looking brilliant right now. He has been absolutely locked in. Jury's still out on who Firstkiller's going to team with for next season. I've heard that himself and LJ are, well, they're rumored to be teaming up together, but their third remains unknown. There was a brief rumor that Chronic was going to be teaming with Rettles and Magic Bear as the new player whose name begins with C in the RMC team. But then I saw another post saying that despite RMC being locked, so that's Rettles, Magic Bear, Chronic being locked for next season, Chronic was still assessing his options, one of them being Firstkiller and LJ. Did I make that up, or I swear I read that somewhere. Alright, maybe he was trying out for some other team. I don't know. Doesn't really make sense though. How can you be locked for next season and also still be like having tryouts for other teams? That doesn't make sense. But yeah, Firstkiller defends well in the tail end of game 1. It's actually a really good save. Just blocked the angle perfectly. Chronic was on the left side of the ball as Firstkiller was looking at it, so he made sure to challenge from the right side of the ball. That kickoff is not bad. You know, it looks bad. It's bouncing violently into Firstkiller's corner, but with Firstkiller in the position to bump Chronic away, it's fine. It's totally fine to lose a kickoff to the back corner like that in 1v1 if you can get there at the same time as your opponent and either bump them or just play the ball to safety. Yeah, great game 1 here for Firstkiller. He's so far perfect on the day. 3-0 in the first round and now 1-0 in the second round. Of all the players in the pool, does Firstkiller still have the highest skill ceiling? That's a good question. Who has the highest skill ceiling in this tournament today? Is it Firstkiller? Is it Diaz maybe? I think it's Firstkiller or Diaz. I'm going to say Diaz then Firstkiller. I think Diaz's skill ceiling is kind of crazy. But Firstkiller's skill ceiling is also unbelievably high. I think they're both like S tier skill ceiling. Right now, Firstkiller is a better threes player, and Diaz is probably a better ones player. But when you're talking skill ceiling, I mean, you just look at the raw talent Diaz has got for the game. He's in the top tier when it comes to potential, I'd say. Okay, game 1, Firstkiller. My prediction looking good so far. Well, let's see how Chronic responds. Firstkiller's going to kick off game 2 with a ceiling double into a reset, but that one kind of got away from him a little bit. Usually when you're trying to ceiling double into reset, you're going to try and catch the ball with a flip reset immediately after the double. That time Firstkiller made one extra touch, and that allowed Chronic to close the distance and challenge him. Yeah, Firstkiller's just all over him. Initially it looked like he might have misplayed that because the boost wasn't there to steal, but he kind of used that as bait, just pretended to be driving into the corner anyway, and allowed Chronic to overcommit in that direction before turning around and simply scoring. Chronic with a risky pinch interception. It has worked pretty well. I say risky because he had no momentum there. Oh my goodness, Firstkiller is just... he is in the zone right now. This is ridiculous. Now, I did predict him to win this, but the way that he's just scoring and controlling the ball right now is... it's incredible to watch. It's had a lot of the good old brute force that Firstkiller's known for. Absolutely slamming the ball whenever he feels like it, but he's also had the deft touches when he needs to. Chronic also in form mechanically today. Pre-flip, air dribble, reset, top corner. AKA Lane, thanks for the prime sub. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're enjoying the ATR Cup today. After this match on my channel, I'll be throwing a raid over to CJ for the second semi-final. That'll be the winner of this match against the winner of Wavy Cosmic. I'm going to predict Wavy there. And then the grand final, which is Diaz or AJ on the far side of the bracket. Insanely stacked. I've got to give props to the NA players. You know, in the past I've been like openly critical of the NA1 scene for not being as active as the EU1 scene at times. Right now the NA1 scene is popping off. Everybody's playing except Daniel pretty much. 1v1 right now. Daniel's the only really high level player who's not been playing. I guess there's a couple of other like players in the kind of B tier, C tier who have not played, but yeah, Firstkiller just slammed the post on an open net. I feel like I've seen that before today. I think that was a good rendition of what Moxie did earlier on. The difference is that we're still in the very early parts of a game and we're not in overtime. Yeah, it's good to see NA grinding ones. I think this bodes very well for NA going into next season. I think, you know, the 1v1 grind in the off season, it sharpens players up. I think too much focus on just pure 3v3 all year, it gets players very loose with their mechanics and a bit sloppy at times. I think, you know, the 1v1 grind is very good at just ironing out mistakes these days, especially with the way everybody plays ones. You can really grind 3v3 playstyle in ones in 2024. Lovely control by Firstkiller, just half flipping the ball into the back corner twice. Chronic's missed the ball and no boost steal for him. Firstkiller secures it. Firstkiller just driving underneath the ball, whether it was intentional or not. It looks like it's been a perfect setup for the air dribble, which has put him ahead by a goal. I wonder if he did that on purpose, just drove underneath the ball on purpose to make Chronic think that he's uncomfortable. Because I'm sure you guys have seen that a lot in your own games. I see that a lot in my games. Somebody will try and, you know, dribble the ball, try and air dribble the ball. They'll drive under the ball when they try to pop it. And when you see that, you think, okay, they're uncomfortable. I'm going to challenge, which is a good read most of the time. But at this level, you know, was Firstkiller really uncomfortable when that happened? Probably not. He probably just drove under the ball accidentally or deliberately. Doesn't really matter. You know he's going to have full control anyway. And I think Chronic got baited into no man's land as a result. Yeah, Chronic's having a bit of difficulty stopping Firstkiller today. That's not the play Chronic wanted. He's trying to dribble the ball back into his half. It's a good idea, but he needs that to be rolling. You can't chip it into the backboard with Firstkiller behind you. Firstkiller was chasing Chronic down to try and demo him, and then he realized, well, Chronic's just passed that to me. I'll just score, thank you very much. Do I think Daniel is in any decent form right now? I don't know exactly what kind of form Daniel will be in, because I've not seen him play ones in a long time. But has it been a year since Daniel played ones? I just realized. Was it Saltmine 3? Was that the last time we saw him? So really, I don't know. I don't know what kind of form he'll be in. If he really hasn't played ones for a year, he'll be rusty, obviously. But he's still Daniel. And the RLCS season didn't end that long ago, so he might be rusty in ones, but he'll obviously still be Daniel. And ones rust for these guys who have put so much time into ones over the years doesn't take as long to shake off. Like if Daniel's rusty for Quell 1 of Saltmine, I think he'll be you know, back to just normal Daniel by Quell 2, you know? I think if he's rusty in Quell 1, Quell 2, he'll probably be one of the favorites, and then he'll definitely qualify by Quell 3. 2 or 3, I think I'd put money on him qualifying for, even if he starts off very, very rusty by his standards. Yeah, it's a pretty brutal qualifier. Oh, it's single elim to start things off. Single elim until top 8, and then top 8 is double elimination with the top 2 qualifying. So it's insanely hard to qualify for Saltmine this year. Insanely hard. In fact, am I like exaggerating when I say that it's possibly the most difficult tournament ever to qualify for in Rocket League? Is that too much? Because when you qualify for RLCS these days, you're one of the 48 best players in your region. When you qualify for an RLCS LAN, you're one of the 48 best players around the world. When you qualify for Saltmine in your region, you're one of the 8 best. And 2 out of every qualifier is insane. You know, there's going to be probably more than 500 people in EU quals. That's an early forfeit, by the way, for Chronic. 4 goals it's a big gap. There's over a minute left. I'm kind of surprised by that, especially in dire straits like he's currently in. Yeah, right now, I'll just take another look because you guys have continued to sign up to Saltmine Qual 1 while I'm talking. Qual 2 and 3 are also available to sign up for if you're interested. We've got 938 players signed up for Saltmine at the moment, Saltmine Qual 1. In Europe, it's 508. NA, it is 430. So yeah, over 500 in Europe, only 2 of those players will qualify from this event. That's got to be the hardest qualifier of all time in Rocket League, just because you're going for top 2 out of 500. That's tough. Okay, my prediction's looking pretty good today. Firstkiller, thoroughly angered by his loss in last week's quarterfinal to Evo, has now shown up in immaculate form, and he's taken down Chronic, who's definitely in good form himself. Can he keep it up though? Will he be able to keep up his perfect record? He's 5-0 in games on the day. Yeah, I know a lot of the players in the qual are not that high level, but there's still going to be a ton of SSLs, ton of pros signed up. I mean, in the EU and NA qual, there will be multiple Salt Mine 3 players, main event players, in them. Too many to qual through this one. Might be a bit easier by the time we get to qual 2, 3, and 4, because once you've qualified for one of them, you don't queue again. However, that might just mean that whoever qualifies for EU and qual 1 might just try and qualify for NA the next time. It's going to be interesting. We get some very, very spicy qual matches. The main event for Salt Mine, well, the main event is going to be NA and EU, will be double elimination into single elimination top 4. So it'll start off double elimination, and then for top 4 it'll be single. It's a format that we used for Worlds 2 years ago and 1 year ago, but the World Championship this year was slightly different, using AFL playoff. The only difference between those 2 formats really is that you all start off in the upper bracket when it's just double elim from the get-go, whereas AFL, half the players start in the lower bracket. Yeah, this one everybody's going to start in uppers. But I love AFL. It's really good. You just don't need it in this situation. Good shot by Firstkiller. Just that snapshot off the ground. Something he's always had in his back pocket. Maximum power. The ball just does seem to leave his car faster than it should. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, he hits the ball, and it looks like it almost skips forward and then starts flying. He hits the ball so hard, and all of the top players do this, but Firstkiller is one of the first players to do that consistently. Just unbelievably good at transferring momentum into the ball. Yeah, Khaled was always really good at doing that off the bounce, but I feel like full, just random positions, Firstkiller was the guy, and still is, just getting max power from weird positions that looks awkward to hit. Bang, just absolutely slams it. Best game so far for Chronic by a mile. 5-2 in the early stages. Oh, Firstkiller had a good idea there, but execution was just a bit too lackluster. Good spawn though, really intelligent spawn by Firstkiller. You might try and get the boost as it spawns. Just one touch and then he does go for it. But Chronic's going to say thank you very much. He used that as a pass. I mean, Firstkiller knew he needed to make one touch. Notice the boost hasn't yet spawned, now it has spawned. So the timing was perfect by Firstkiller there. I'm glad that we could see that on the replay. Because one of the reasons he went for that touch is if he went for the boost immediately, it wouldn't have been there. But the touch he got wasn't all that effective. Can't say the same about this one. Another banger by Firstkiller as Chronic overextends into the back corner for the 100 boost. A little failed wave dash there on the recovery by Firstkiller. Chronic with an extremely high first touch. That's caused him to slow down a lot. Lost a bunch of momentum because of that first touch on the air dribble. Firstkiller just lobbing the ball forward. Oh, he actually read that Chronic wasn't going to go for it. Didn't have control anyway. Chronic's just kind of been sitting back in this entire exchange. Firstkiller panicking, thinking Chronic might be advancing. Air dribble bump by Chronic. Firstkiller with an outrageous save. And the counter-attack as well. How has he kept that out? This is a quarter-final. That just shows you how stacked this tournament is. This is a quarter-final. between Chronic and Firstkiller. The tournament is incredibly stacked today. We had Diaz Moxie as a quarterfinal as well. Wavy Cosmic as a quarterfinal. So is AJ Wisty. I mean, even casual Rocket League fans would say about 6 of those players are minimum semi-finalists. And the Hardcore Ones fans know that they're all players who can make semis. Alright, Firstkiller missed the goal by a mile in the previous play, but now Chronic's left the ball and he walks it in. The goal lead is starting to crumble a little bit. Chronic lost control there, underestimated the acceleration Firstkiller could generate. When is this going on YouTube? I think this one is probably going on YouTube in about 4 or 5 days from live. Because today on YouTube was Jack versus Kurama. And then tomorrow on YouTube will be Jack versus Nas. Then we're going to have Vatira versus Atto. And then we're going to have Atto Jack. Then we're probably going to have Diaz Moxie. And then this one. Oh, that's tough. That is tough. Chronic almost nailed this. But Firstkiller shows that even at the highest level, it's a totally legitimate strategy to say, you know what? My opponent could miss this. I'm just going to wait and see if they do. And he just waited to see if they missed. They did. It's a free goal. Because if Chronic does miss that, it's the easiest goal of all time for Firstkiller. And if Chronic does hit that, then okay, fair play. You've scored it. But it would have been an awkward pre-jump anyway, so I'm not going to bother. You guys can use that in your own games. That same idea. If your opponent is up for an awkward-looking shot, you don't have to jump and try and read what they're doing every time. Sometimes if it looks like it's awkward for them and they might just miss, alright, let's see. Let's just stay on the ground and see if they miss. Well, would you look at that? They've hit the bar, they've hit the post, and now I've got an open net. Can't do it every time. Oh, that's disgusting. Yeah, sometimes you've got to read the shot going on target. Sometimes, even if it looks awkward, you've got to back him to score it. Look at where Firstkiller's headed there. Almost a direct downward trajectory, and then all of a sudden the ball pops up and over Chronic. It's the hard hits, the boomers that Firstkiller's been able to get today do not surprise me. That's something he always has. But the delicate touches, again, just perfectly into the back corner there. That's what's really convinced me that he is all about it today, and he could be making a grand finals run. It's most likely going to be Wavy, I'm guessing, in the next round for Firstkiller. That being said, I just checked his match against Cosmic, and it is 1-1 with Game 3 going, let me just check, the way of no one. It's 5-all in game 3. So yeah, maybe not just as clear as day there. But GG's. Chronic versus Firstkiller is over. We don't even have to end that one. We can all see it's GG's. Let's go and check out what's happening in Wavy, Cosmic, and AJ Diaz, because those matches are still going on.